Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Sunday, August 18th, 2024. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with AEW Collision broadcast live last night on TNT from the Esports Stadium in Arlington, Texas. In the main event, FTR and the Acclaim wrestled to a time limit draw in their match to determine the Young Bucks' next challengers for the AEW World Tag Team title at All In. Following the bout, Tony Schiavone announced that despite the draw, both teams would be moving on to face Matt and Nick Jackson for the title next Sunday in London. Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara defeated Mike Bennett and Matt Taven to win the ROH World Tag Team title in 12 minutes and 2 seconds after Guevara pinned Bennett. Rhodes now holds both the ROH Tag Team and ROH Six-Man Tag Team titles alongside Marshall and Ross Von Erich. Britt Baker opened the show with a win over Harley Cameron. After the match, Baker was confronted by TBS champion Mercedes Moné, which resulted in Baker being laid out by Moné's enforcer Camille. In other results, Claudio Castagnoli downed Leo Rush. Mariah May squashed London Dior. Hologram kept his undefeated streak alive with a win over Angelico. And Jack Perry quickly dispatched Danny O'Ryan. Last night's Dynamite marked the end of AEW's 4-week stay at Esports Stadium. In WWE news, during Friday Night SmackDown inside the Kia Center in Orlando, Florida, the company announced it would be returning to the building on Saturday, December 28th. Unironically, that's the same night AEW also runs Orlando 16 miles east at Edition Financial Arena for its World's End pay-per-view. Turning to Japan, New Japan's G1 Climax tournament wrapped up today inside Sumo Hall in Tokyo. Zack Sabre Jr. came out victorious after submitting Yota Tsuji in 31 minutes and 4 seconds. With the victory, Sabre becomes only the second foreigner to win the G1 Climax, with Kenny Omega becoming the first in 2016. Sabre is now entitled to a future IWGP World Championship match. The title is currently held by Tetsuya Naito. This year's tournament sees a first-time G1 victor since Kota Ibushi won his first in 2019. On Saturday, Tsuji advanced to the final by defeating David Finlay, while Sabre advanced by defeating Shingo Takagi. Also on Saturday, All Japan Pro Wrestling crowned a new heavyweight champion in Tachikawa as Yuma Aoyagi upended Yuma Anzai in 26 minutes and 41 seconds to win the Triple Crown. The win now begins Aoyagi's second title reign, while Anzai's first career Triple Crown run ends after 140 days and 5 successful defenses. Pro Wrestling Noah's N1 Victory Tournament also continued in Tokyo yesterday. Kaito Kiyomiya currently leads Block A with 7 points, while Keno leads Block B also with 7 points. The tournament continues today in Sendai. And finally, in news from Mexico, the AAA promotion ran the final leg of its tripartite Triple Mania 32 event on Saturday inside Arena Ciudad in Mexico City. In the main event, the second incarnation of AAA's Psychosis lost his mask when he was the final man left in the ring during an Escape the Cage hair versus mask bout, which also included 8 other competitors. Other notable results saw Alberto El Patron win the AAA Mega title from Nick Nemeth. Matt Riddle became the new AAA Cruiserweight champion in a 3-way by defeating former champion Commander and Laredo Kid, and Raj Desi and Satnam Singh won the AAA Tag Team title in another 3-way against former champions Negro Casas and Psycho Clown, and the team of Dr. Wagner Jr. and Galeno Del Mal. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.